What up, YouTube Live? How's it going, everybody? Is this too loud? I hope the audio is okay. This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. And tonight is Sunday night, October 13th. October 13th, 2019. How's your weekend? My weekend was so hectic. This past week was Scream Fest and then LA Comic Con. Man, it was one red carpet after another, and then I had to stand for hours filming the panels at the LA Comic Con. So you can watch all those videos. I put them up today. I posted them online today on Rama Screen YouTube channel right here. Okay, so go check them out. Go check them out when you have time. But I'm here right now, of course, to give you my thoughts about tonight's The Walking Dead new season 10, episode 2, titled We Are the End of the World. So, heads up, this review or this video is mainly for those of you, my fellow The Walking Dead fans, who have also watched tonight's episode because I'll be spilling some spoilers. Heads up, there will be spoilers in this review. All right, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You've been warned. You have been warned. Okay, let's get right to it. Last week we got to see a little bit of everybody. By everybody, I mean the main cast. Daryl, Michonne, Eugene, Father Gabe, Judith, everybody. How they're doing right now? After what happened last season. You can rewatch my video again explaining to you. So, and the fear that they had last week next to, oh my God, there's a satellite that crash landed right near the border of, us, between us and the Whispers, because we had that treaty. Oh no, what do we do? What do we do? So we have to, of course, put out the fire as quickly as they could. Um, Before the Whispers found out that, they're messing with the borderlines. We have this agreement and they're messing with it. So, but we got to put out the fire. We can't let this fire go spreading. So that's in addition to that fear, the other fear is that they found this skin mask, um, by the beach, or at least the kids did, and so that brought the tension back again. Or like, are we gonna go into war with the Whispers? After so many months of trying to keep ourselves on this side of the border, we're not gonna provoke them. They're not gonna provoke us. It's been going well, but now we found this thing. So that was last week. This week we got to see, or tonight we got to see what happened to the Whispers while those things were happening to Daryl, Michonne, Eugene, Father Gabe, and all those, and Negan. Um, at the same time that they're, trying to put out the fire or trying to figure out, oh my God, there's this thing that the kids found. While those things are happening, these things are happening to the Whisperers, and we got to see it tonight. And what are these things? Well, in the present day, apparently, you remember that episode where one of the Whispers, or the members of the Whispers, was carrying a baby, and um, Alpha commanded her, kind of ordered her, like, "Hey, put down the baby because the baby is crying. She's making noise. She's attracting the zombies." And like the ones holding the baby is the mother of that baby. He's just, I'm like, holy shit! And then, like, I believe the baby got rescued, right? If my memory serves me right, and um, it's being taken care of by the Alexandrians. Um, so what happened in tonight's episode? Long story short, this woman is still having PTSD about losing the baby. And there has been a couple of occasions when she just burst into, I don't know what do you want to call it, panic attack, tears, trauma, basically. My God, she lost the baby, right? She left the baby, I should say. And that burst kind of threatens the whole pack. And it really pisses off Beta. Beta is the right hand man of Alpha, the huge, gigantic fella. And so the storyline in the present day is that it's like, hey, we got to do something about this woman. Beta basically saying to Alpha, but Alpha, of course, has a soft spot because Alpha herself has a daughter, Lydia, whom she's been saying to everybody that, oh, she's dead, but apparently Lydia's still alive, obviously, right? Um, so throughout this episode, there's that. Oh my god! At least for me, while I was watching it, oh, are they gonna kill her? Are they gonna kill her? Because we've seen Alpha enacted punishment before in the past to one of their own, and she was very vicious about it. There's no trial by jury, none of that. So if you don't fall in line, if you do things that will threaten the whole pack, you're gone, kaput, or knife to the head. Um, but for this case, she really has that soft spot, and that really gets under Beta's skin. No pun intended. They're wearing skin for mask or for face. Um, and so my heart was like, oh my god, because there are moments where like, is Beta gonna kill her, the woman, who left the baby, or is Alpha gonna kill her? It's like either one of those is gonna be like, but Beta obviously wants Alpha to do it because Alpha's the leader. Um, at the same time, there's flashback scenes in tonight's episode showing the origin of Beta and Alpha, how they met, how they came to be. And let me just say that the episode started out really, really gnarly. Oh my God. Did you see that woman who was in the car and then she got under the car and then the zombies pulled her? And dude, it was so graphic. Like at one point, they even tore her nose apart. Like they bit her nose basically, right off her face. I was like, damn. And tonight's episode is once again directed by makeup practical effects maestro Greg Nicotero, and I'm sure Greg, being the maestro on that field, I'm sure he had some one or two things to do with how that whole thing was executed. It was very graphic, the way that lady died, being mauled by the woman who left the baby. She also ended up dying, but being mauled by the herd or the zombies. But it was not as graphic as the lady in the beginning in the car. Man, that one really, that is the stuff that will give you nightmare if you're not used to if you're not used to seeing something so graphic. So Lydia and Alpha met or meet. Let's just use present tense. They meet Beta in this building, and Beta's like, "Okay, you can stay here, but you stay on that side. I'll stay in this side. You will never come to my side. I'll never bother you. You don't bother me." But of course, that only lasts for so long until, of course, Lydia gets lost, and then Alpha has to find her, and then Alpha finds herself in Beta's side of the building. And it seems that the secret that Beta is hiding, the reason why he does not want Alpha to be in his side of the building is because he's holding on to somebody also, but somebody that already turned into a zombie. And so there's a bit of this heartache, heartbreak, whatever you want to call it. It's a way to sort of humanize Alpha and Beta, to make you empathize with them. because Alpha, despite what she's done, she is, according to this flashback, she's just a protective mother. And of course, by the end of tonight's episode, she's like, Lydia's my baby. When Beta finds out that Lydia's still around, it's like, Lydia's my baby, my daughter. What do you want me to do? I can't stop being a mother to her. Like, she'll always be my baby. And yeah, right. Like, so, but in the flashback, Beta has some sort of say similar problem, but of course, it's a problem of not being able to let go his loved one that is not no, is no longer human. Um, so that's the gist of tonight's episode. And throughout the episode, while I was watching it, I don't know about you guys, but I was deciding, maybe going into 20 minutes into the episode, I was like, I was still deciding whether or not I really care about how Beta and Alpha came to be. You know what I'm saying? There are some origin stories out there. There are some prequel stories, whether on TV shows or in movies, where you kind of wonder, like, do I really need to know this? I mean, do is it necessary, or would I be better off just having this idea in my head that Beta and Alpha are villains, right? Do I need to empathize with them? Does the story really humanize them? Like, does it really? But then again, I remember The Walking Dead has that history. They did that with Negan as well. The story. Remember that when Negan was trapped in the container with Father Gabe on the other side of it. It's like a confession box sort of episode, and Negan revealed about his wife. And then there was also that episode way back. Remember about the governor? Remember the governor? Before he became the governor, he was involved with this woman that he actually fell for. So The Walking Dead has a history of trying to humanize their villains, and in a way, that's a good thing to make them more dimensional as opposed to just like bad guy. But at the same time, it kind of, maybe that is the idea. It kind of makes us, the audience, feel conflicted now. It's like, oh man, it's much easier when they're just villains, when we just know them as bad guys, right? Now that we know all these shades about them, and you're like, oh man, now why why do I need to feel sorry for Alpha and Beta? I just want the Alexandrians to kill them already. Do you get what I'm saying here? Do you get what I'm getting at? So, but yeah, that's The Walking Dead for you. Now, let me get through my notes here. That's one of my notes. The other one is with regards to the woman who left her baby. Man, that must have been really hard on her, man. And you know what? Um, I totally understand that scene in tonight's episode when she jumped Alpha. That was you knew that was gonna come. You knew that was gonna happen. And the trigger apparently is this zombie that's carrying this baby. What do you want to call it? Baby bag. That triggered her. It's like, oh shit, that's it. That's it. This is the one that's gonna make her snap. And then that's exactly what happened. It was nicely done, in my opinion. Um, tonight's episode also. Oh, before I get to that point, I just want to make this one. The actor who plays Beta, I believe his name is, let me get this right, Ryan Hurst. Dude, that guy is massive. Do you see the size of him? Wow. I mean, we've seen him for quite a while now, for the past two seasons, but not till tonight do I realize, like, that shot of him, in the flashback where Lydia and Alpha first meet him, in that hallway, with that distance between them. Dude, and then he's holding the machete. He looks bigger than usual. And of course, the rest of the episode too. But I tweeted that Ryan Hurst, this guy, is ridiculously big. He's like Michael Myers big, you know. if, if the guy or the actor who plays Michael Myers is no longer able to play the role for the sequels, I think Ryan Hurst can be cast on in that one. But yeah, he's massive. He has this, in that hallway, that shot. It reminds me of not just Michael Myers, or he reminds me of any serial killer from any horror movie. Leatherface, Jason, whatever you want to call it. When he's holding that machete, in that hallway with that mask on, it's like wow. And we never actually get to see his face. Freaking Alpha gets to see his face, but the camera, cuts to us. Like we don't get to see his face. I was like, oh no, we're cheated out of that one. Now I'm curious. I'm so curious. If you say, "Hey, Rama, this is what his face looks like in the comic books," or maybe like, you could say, "Hey, Rama, that's not how the origin story of Alpha and Beta played out in the comic books." All right, I believe you because I never read the comics. I never read the comic books. I wouldn't know the origin of the Whispers in the comic books. But these are just my thoughts about what tonight's episode says about the origin of Alpha and Beta. But yeah, Ryan Hurst is massive, massive, very intimidating fella. So big. He looks like Kane from WWE. Um, Lastly, I want to make this point. It does kind of make you ponder or make you think about the Walking Dead again has this history with all their villains community, with the saviors led by Negan, and then what are the names of the group led by the governor? Well, anyway, the governor's group, Negan's group, and then of course the Whispers. Um, compared to the communities of Alexandria and Hilltop, led by Michonne, or Tara, used to be by Tara. Tara's dead now. Maggie and all those guys. So compared to those, we notice that, of course, that Governor Negan and the Whispers, or Alpha's Whispers, their form of society is us, fascism and sort of like gangster, mobster kind of like. That's their style. So in the minds of somebody like Beta, that woman that jumps Alpha before she jumps Alpha, it's like, oh, she's a weak link. We got to get rid of her. You know, we can't have somebody that jeopardizes what we need to do to survive, jeopardizes the whole pack. Um, so we got to get rid of her. We got to kill her. Toss her aside, whatever you want to do, but just get rid of her. But Alpha has this thing like, oh, she's a mother. I'm a mother. I got this connection. Um, what I'm trying to say is that it's like gangster, right? If somebody's weak, it's like a cancer that you gotta cut off. You gotta amputate the arm. Whereas communities like Alexandria's and Hilltop, they might have a system of more like democratic, maybe trial by jury, or maybe even mercy. Second chance, third chance, what have you. But in a community like Whispers, Beta, Beta saying is like, Alpha, you got to do this. You got to get rid of her because if not, you'll be seen as weak. You can't be perceived as weak. And are you weak? Do we need to topple you? Throughout that episode, I also wonder, like, not until the end when they actually gang up again, I was wondering too. I was like, holy shit, is Beta questioning Alpha's leadership now? I mean, seems like he has enough grounds to question her because he sees her as weak. Um, so that's the type of community, like gangster, like fascism. Like you can't show weakness. You got forgiveness, second chance, trial by jury. Those things are considered not strength at all. Um, And so, and to some people, that's the kind of thing that they like, you know. That's the kind of thing they don't like democratic process. They don't like anything other than, black and white. Either you fall in line or you die. Some people actually like that. Unfortunately, and that's the whispers. That's the way they see is the right way or the only way to survive. My only regret is that about this tonight's episode is that even though they give us the origin story of Alpha and Beta, they tonight's episode they did not necessarily give us the origin of their herd, the Whisperers. They gave us how Alpha got the idea of skinning the face off. She says to Beta's like, "Hey, you don't have to leave your loved one. Just carry your loved one around. Put it on your face." They show that, but they don't show how they converted, you know, other followers, how they collect other followers. That would be probably another flashback that I would be interested in seeing. So my conclusion is, I actually liked tonight's episode. I'm glad that they showed the origin. Um, I think I think it does make it really, really challenging for us now because Alpha's gonna go mano a mano against Carol, and we love Carol, right? Carol is like the Rambo of the good guys. Um, but Alpha also has human side to her that made you like, oh man, this is gonna be an interesting fight between them. Um, I want to see that though. If that's pay per view, I would pay to watch it. The fight between those two women is going to be so epic. Um, yeah, quite an interesting tonight's episode. What do you guys think about it? If you've seen it as well, do you agree or disagree with my assessment? What did you not like? If you have some criticism about tonight's episode, I want to hear about it too. So share them in the comment section below, as always. All right, subscribe to my channel, press this like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/Rama Screen. Ooh, The Walking Dead. Oh, I noticed that The Walking Dead's music tonight was composed by two people, not just Bear McCreary. There's some other guy that I saw in the credits. Maybe it's his protege. You know how composers sometimes have proteges, but that's another topic for another time. Let's rock this.